If you're over 60 and taking testosterone boosters but still struggling in the bedroom, it's not your fault. The supplement industry left out one critical piece. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, and after 25 years treating senior men's health, I discovered why 80% of my patients saw zero results from T-boosters until we added one forgotten mineral compound. And no, it's not the usual stuff they're selling you on every other channel. Here's what nobody tells you. After 60, your body stops converting testosterone boosters into usable energy where it matters most. You could have the testosterone levels of a 30-year-old, but if blood can't reach the tissue that needs it, nothing happens. It's like having a full tank of gas but clogged fuel lines. The engine never starts. The reason is something called vascular calcification. Think of your blood vessels like old copper pipes in a 100-year-old house. Over time, calcium deposits build up on the inner walls. These microscopic deposits create rough patches that restrict blood flow and prevent the smooth dilation you need for performance. Your testosterone is there. Your desire might even be there. But the delivery system is broken. And this isn't some rare condition. If you're over 60, you have some degree of vascular calcification. Every single man does. It's as inevitable as gray hair. The question is how much, and whether you're doing anything about it. Most men aren't, because most men don't even know it exists. Their doctors never mentioned it. The supplement companies definitely aren't talking about it because they can't sell you a solution in a flashy bottle with promises of instant results. I discovered this working with a patient I'll call Walter. He was 67, retired engineer, sharp as ever. Came into my clinic completely defeated. He'd spent over $2,000 on every supplement Amazon recommended. Diaspartic acid, fenugreek, tribulus, maca root, ashwagandha. You name it, he tried it. Nothing worked. His wife had suggested separate bedrooms 6 months earlier. That suggestion broke something in him beyond just his pride. Walter told me he felt invisible. Not just to his wife, but to himself. He'd stopped making plans. Stopped booking the trips they used to take. Stopped initiating any form of physical affection because the fear of failure was worse than the loneliness. He described lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this was just how the rest of his life would be. That's the part that gets me every time I hear it. The quiet resignation. The acceptance of decline as inevitable. When I ran Walter's comprehensive labs, his testosterone was actually in the normal range for his age. Not optimal, but definitely not the problem. His total testosterone was 487 nanograms per deciliter. That's perfectly adequate. Then I ran an endothelial function test and a coronary calcium scan. His calcium score was 847. For context, anything over 400 puts you at high risk for cardiovascular events. But more importantly for his immediate concern, those calcium deposits were choking off microcirculation throughout his entire vascular system. I told him something that changed everything. Walter, we're not treating a hormone problem. We're treating a plumbing problem. His face changed when I said that. It was the first time someone had given him an explanation that actually made sense. He'd been told by other doctors that it was just aging, that he needed to accept it, that maybe he should try prescription medications. But nobody had explained why his body wasn't responding to anything he tried. Nobody had addressed the root cause. That's when I started him on what I now call the Vascular Reset Protocol. The cornerstone is something most men have never heard of despite it being studied since the 1980s. Boron citrate. Not boron supplements mixed with other minerals. I mean pure boron citrate powder. 5 grams every morning mixed into his coffee. Now before I tell you the rest of Walter's story, let me explain why boron is the missing piece your T-booster needs to actually work. Boron does 3 things simultaneously that nothing else can match. First, it chelates calcium. That means it binds to those calcium deposits in your vessel walls and helps your body eliminate them. It's like sending a chemical cleaning crew through your pipes. The mechanism is actually fascinating. Boron forms complexes with calcium and magnesium in your bloodstream. These complexes are water-soluble, which means your kidneys can filter them out and eliminate them through urine. Over time, this gradually reduces the calcium burden in your arterial walls. It doesn't happen overnight. You're reversing years or decades of accumulation. But it does happen, and you can measure it. Second, boron reduces something called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. This is a protein that binds to testosterone in your blood and makes it unavailable for use. Think of SHBG as a parking brake on your testosterone. High SHBG is why men can have decent total testosterone, but still feel nothing. The testosterone is there, it's just locked up and unusable. Boron lowers SHBG by up to 39%, which increases your free testosterone without adding a single milligram of external testosterone. That's the testosterone your body can actually use. Third, and this is the part most doctors miss, boron increases nitric oxide production in your endothelium. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals your blood vessels to dilate. More nitric oxide means better blood flow everywhere, but especially to the extremities and the tissue that needs it for performance. Without adequate nitric oxide, your vessels simply can't dilate enough to allow the blood flow necessary for firmness and stamina. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Trace Elements in Medicine and Biology tracked 47 men over 60 who took 6 milligrams of boron daily for 8 weeks. These men didn't change anything else. No exercise programs, no diet overhauls, no other supplements. Just boron. After 8 weeks, their erectile function scores improved by 25% on average. Some men saw improvements as high as 40%. And this was measured using the validated International Index of Erectile Function questionnaire, not just subjective feelings. But here's what I learned from Walter and the 200 men I've treated since. Boron alone isn't enough. You need the complete vascular reset. Boron opens the door, but you need 2 other pillars to walk through it. This is where most protocols fail. They focus on one intervention and expect miracles. The body doesn't work that way. You need multiple mechanisms working together synergistically. The second pillar is what I call the circulation amplifier. While boron clears the calcium and frees up your testosterone, you need to actively boost nitric oxide production throughout the day. The most effective natural source is beetroot powder. 3 grams in the afternoon, mixed into water or a smoothie. Beets contain natural nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide within 90 minutes of consumption. The research on beetroot is actually remarkable. Athletes have been using it for years to improve performance and endurance. A study from Exeter University found that beetroot juice reduced the oxygen cost of exercise by 16%. That means your cardiovascular system works more efficiently. The same mechanism that helps athletes run faster and longer helps men over 60 achieve and maintain better blood flow where it matters most. I pair this with 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, because vitamin C protects your endothelial lining from oxidative damage. Think of it as coating those newly cleaned pipes with a protective layer, so calcium doesn't immediately start redepositing. Vitamin C also regenerates other antioxidants in your body, creating a cascade of protective effects. It's one of the most underrated interventions for vascular health. Then, and this is the part that makes men skeptical until they try it, finish your afternoon shower with 30 seconds of cold water. The cold causes your blood vessels to constrict, then rapidly dilate when you warm up. This vascular training strengthens the smooth muscle in your vessel walls. You're literally exercising your circulatory system. The Scandinavians have known about this for centuries. They weren't doing it for bedroom performance. They were doing it for vitality and longevity. But the benefits absolutely translate. The third pillar is nighttime repair. Your body does most of its vascular healing while you sleep, but only if you give it the raw materials. 3 grams of glycine powder before bed. Glycine is an amino acid that your body uses to build collagen. Collagen makes up 30% of your arterial walls. As you age, collagen production drops dramatically. By age 60, you're producing about half the collagen you did at 30. Supplementing glycine gives your body the building blocks to repair and strengthen those vessel walls overnight. Glycine also improves sleep quality by lowering your core body temperature and calming your nervous system. Better sleep means more growth hormone release. More growth hormone means better tissue repair. It's all connected. This is why I'm so adamant about addressing multiple mechanisms simultaneously. Each intervention amplifies the others. Now here's something I stumbled onto by accident that amplified results for my patients. Compression socks for 30 minutes before bed. I know that sounds absurd for bedroom performance, but hear me out. Compression improves venous return, which means blood that's pooled in your lower extremities during the day gets pushed back up toward your heart. This improves overall circulation and reduces the workload on your cardiovascular system overnight. Better circulation means better oxygenation. Better oxygenation means better cellular repair. I discovered this because one of my patients had been wearing compression socks for varicose veins, and he reported faster improvements than other men on the same protocol. I started recommending it to everyone after that, and the results were consistent. Men who added compression socks reported noticing changes about a week earlier than those who didn't. It's a small thing, but these small things accumulate. The final component is non-negotiable. 7 hours of sleep minimum. Testosterone production peaks during deep sleep, specifically during REM cycles. If you're only getting 5 or 6 hours, you're sabotaging everything else you're doing. Your body literally cannot produce adequate testosterone or complete vascular repair without sufficient sleep. And I'm not talking about time in bed. I'm talking about actual sleep. If you're waking up multiple times, if you're tossing and turning, that doesn't count. So Walter started this protocol. I told him to give it 8 weeks and track everything. Week 1, he noticed morning erections returning. Not full strength but present. That hadn't happened in 3 years. He called me on day 6, almost embarrassed to admit it, but clearly excited. I told him that was exactly what we wanted to see. Morning erections are a direct indicator of improved nighttime blood flow and testosterone production. They're not just a nice bonus. They're a measurable sign that your vascular system is healing. Week 3, something shifted. He described it as thinking about my wife the way I used to. Spontaneous desire came back. Not raging like a teenager, but genuine interest that felt natural, not forced. He said he'd catch himself looking at her while she was reading or cooking and feeling that spark again. The spark he thought was gone forever. That's when I knew we were on the right track. Week 8, his wife moved back into their bedroom. They didn't make a big announcement about it. She just moved her things back one afternoon. Walter told me that moment meant more to him than any physical improvement. It meant she believed things had changed. It meant she had hope again. It meant their relationship wasn't just surviving, it was healing. The endothelial function test I ran at the 3-month mark showed a 34% improvement. His calcium score hadn't changed much. That takes years to significantly reduce, but his vessels were functioning better despite the calcium present. Think of it like this. The rust is still in the pipes, but the water is flowing smoothly around it. His blood pressure had dropped from 142/88 to 128/79, without changing his medications. His energy throughout the day was noticeably higher. He'd started planning a trip to Italy with his wife, something they'd postponed for 5 years because he didn't feel up to it. Walter sent me a postcard from Rome 4 months later. Just 3 words. Thanks for everything. I keep it in my office because it reminds me why I do this work. It's not about prescriptions or protocols. It's about giving men their lives back. Since sharing this protocol with my patients and now publicly, I've heard from men across 40 states. James, 71, told me it was the first time in 5 years his wife had initiated intimacy. He said he actually cried afterward, not from the physical release, but from feeling wanted again, from feeling like himself. Robert, 64, said he didn't think he'd ever feel confident again, but now he walks differently, talks differently, engages with people differently. Miguel, 69, reported that his primary care doctor asked what he was doing because his comprehensive metabolic panel had improved across the board. His inflammation markers dropped, his lipid profile improved, and his fasting glucose came down 11 points. This is what people don't understand about vascular health. It's not isolated to one area. When you improve circulation, when you clean out those pipes and strengthen those vessel walls, everything improves. Your brain gets better blood flow, which means sharper thinking and better memory. Several men told me their wives commented that they seemed sharper or more present in conversations. Your muscles get better blood flow, which means more energy and faster recovery. Men reported being able to work in their garage or yard without needing a nap afterward. Your skin gets better blood flow, which is why several patients told me people commented that they looked younger. One man said his barber asked if he'd been on vacation because his color looked so much better. These are the unexpected benefits that come from addressing root cause instead of just masking symptoms. But the bedroom benefits are usually what men notice first, because that's where restricted blood flow shows up most obviously. You need significant vasodilation for performance. When your vessels are clogged and stiff, you simply can't achieve adequate blood flow no matter how much testosterone you have. It's basic plumbing. You can have the best fuel in the world, but if the fuel lines are clogged, the engine doesn't run. Now I need to be direct about something. Every month you wait, those calcium deposits harden further. Every month, your vessels lose more elasticity. There's a window to reverse this naturally without medications, and that window shrinks with time. I've had men come to me who waited too long. By the time they sought help, they were on 3 prescriptions, dealing with side effects, spending hundreds monthly, and still not getting the results they wanted. The medications work for some men, absolutely. I'm not anti-medication, but they don't address the underlying vascular problem. They're forcing blood flow temporarily, without healing the vessels. They're a band-aid, not a repair. And for many men, the side effects aren't worth the temporary benefit. Headaches, flushing, vision changes, dependency. These are real issues that affect quality of life. The beautiful thing about the Vascular Reset Protocol is that it addresses the root cause. You're not just temporarily forcing blood flow with a pill. You're actually healing and strengthening your cardiovascular system. That's why the benefits compound over time instead of requiring higher and higher doses. Men tell me that month 6 is better than month 3. Month 12 is better than month 6. They're not chasing the same effect. They're continuing to improve. Let me give you the exact protocol one more time, so you can write it down. Pillar 1, Morning Vascular Flush. 5 grams of boron citrate powder in your coffee or water, 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate with breakfast, and a 10-minute walk within an hour of waking. The walk activates nitric oxide production and gets your circulation moving for the day. It doesn't have to be intense. A casual walk around your neighborhood is perfect. Pillar 2, Afternoon Circulation Amplifier. 3 grams of beetroot powder mixed into 8 ounces of water or added to a smoothie. 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C taken with the beetroot for maximum absorption. And finish your shower with 30 seconds of cold water. This timing is important because you want that nitric oxide boost in the afternoon when cortisol naturally rises. High cortisol constricts blood vessels. The beetroot counteracts that. Pillar 3, Nighttime Repair. 3 grams of glycine powder mixed into water 30 minutes before bed. Compression socks for the 30 minutes before you get into bed while you're winding down and watching TV or reading. And commit to 7 hours of sleep minimum. Set your bedroom temperature between 65 and 68 degrees. Cooler temperatures improve deep sleep quality. Make your room as dark as possible. Even small amounts of light can disrupt melatonin production and reduce sleep quality. You'll find all of these supplements online. I don't sell supplements. I don't have affiliate links. I have no financial incentive to recommend these over anything else. I recommend them because they work. Get powder forms whenever possible instead of capsules. Powders are more bioavailable, which means your body absorbs them better, and they're usually more cost-effective. A 3-month supply of everything I mentioned should cost you between $80 and $120 total, depending on brands. That's less than most men spend on ineffective tea boosters in a single month. Start tracking your morning erections. I tell my patients this is the most reliable early indicator that things are improving. If you're not experiencing them now and they return within the first 2 weeks, you're on the right path. Keep a simple journal. Just mark yes or no each morning. You want to see the frequency increasing over weeks 2 through 6. Also track your energy levels throughout the day on a simple 1 to 10 scale. Write it down each evening before bed. You should notice sustained energy by week 3, not the jittery stimulant energy, but steady endurance throughout the day. Most importantly, be patient with yourself. You didn't develop vascular calcification overnight. You're not going to reverse it overnight. But you will notice improvements much faster than you might expect if you stay consistent with all 3 pillars. The men who get the best results are the ones who treat this as a daily non-negotiable routine, not something they do when they remember. Put the supplements in the same place you keep your coffee. Set a phone reminder for the afternoon beetroot. Make it automatic so you don't have to rely on motivation or memory. Now here's what concerns me. If you leave this video right now without subscribing, 6 months from now you'll be in the same position you're in today, or worse. You'll have watched this, thought it sounded interesting, then gone back to scrolling and forgotten the specifics. The calcium deposits will continue hardening. Your vessel elasticity will continue declining. And you'll wish you had acted today when you first learned this information. I'm not asking you to subscribe for me. I'm asking you to subscribe for your future self. The man who deserves to feel confident again. The man who deserves to travel with his wife, to feel present in his relationships, to wake up with energy instead of dread. Subscribe so you don't lose this information. Subscribe so you see my next video where I'm covering the other critical piece most men miss. And if this video helped you, if you learned something that might change your trajectory, hit the like button and share this with someone who needs it. There's a man your age right now, maybe your brother, your best friend, someone you play golf with, lying in bed feeling broken and thinking he's the only one struggling. You can change that for him by sharing this video. Give him the same hope Walter found. Give him the information that might save his relationship and his confidence. Because this isn't just about physical performance. It's about identity. It's about feeling like yourself again. Every man I've worked with tells me the same thing. They didn't realize how much they'd lost until they got it back. Not just in the bedroom, but the confidence in every room. The energy to pursue hobbies again. The desire to make plans instead of just managing decline. The willingness to be spontaneous. To say yes to invitations. To feel like a participant in life instead of a spectator. You deserve that too. And it's more achievable than you think.